used to be a big city. I'm talking about the archaic and classic period. That's 7th, 6th, and 5th century BC. Athens and Corinth were the two biggest cities at that time. We estimate the population of Athens at that time between 400,000 and 600,000 inhabitants. On the other hand, the beginning of the 19th century, Athens was just a small village. There were about 10,000 inhabitants here. Till the end of the 20th century, the extent of the city of Athens has been enlarged more than 100 times and the population more than 400 times. Here on the left there used to be the Hippodrome of Athens, but now it's a parking area and it's going to be a park very soon. Stadium on the right, that's what the Taekwondo. More stadiums, 24 new stadiums in Athens. In the suburbs, northeast and southwestern part of the city, suburbs. The new Olympic Stadium with a part of the Olympic facilities is located in the northern part of Athens. Part became like a museum. They expose statues, tombs. It's about a month and a half that you can see an ancient river passing in one of these stations of the subway. They constructed a magnificent subway in Athens using a lot of marble, granite and glass. Another church here on the right, which is also a modern one of the 20th century. We're going to see at the third traffic light on the left side the Temple of Zeus. Nearby there is a bit, and you're going to see also the highest hill of the city of Athens. It's called Lycabettus Hill with a small white construction on the top. That's a chapel. We're going to see it's behind the trees here. It's a chapel which is dedicated to Saint George. There is a bar restaurant on the top and a funicular railway passing inside the rock. It leads to the top and a nice view of the city of Athens, especially at night from the top of the Lycabettus Hill. The Olympic flame at the altar of the Temple of Hera, which is at Olympia. They bring the flame to Athens. The distance between Olympia and Athens is 330 kilometers. The Olympic flame remains a day in this stadium, and then we send the flame to the city which has organized the games. The ceremony that we watch on TV every 4 years for the first time took place in 1936. It's a modern idea. The Germans had this idea in 1934. It was the Minister of Sport, Karl Diemen, the Minister of the Propaganda of the Germans was called Joseph Goebbels, who had this idea. They proposed to Hitler. Hitler was very fond of this idea. In 1936, for the first time, took place the ceremony that we watched on TV with the Olympics of Berlin. Behind the stadium, you can see the Hymettus spot. On the right, the Arc de Tos Hill. In 2004, the Olympics of Athens, symbolically, they organized here the event of archery. It was also the finish of the marathon race. So we stopped for a quarter of an hour here to take some pictures. There are also bathroom facilities on the right of the 19th century, which have been restored. We're going to leave from here.
運動場。喺前面咧，佢哋。Da da da dee da. Da da da. Da da dee da. Đâu thấy mèo ơi? Thấy mèo à?
It's not like the States or France, it's the parliament, which has the political power. We're going to see two guards in front of the parliament. At the foot of the parliament there is the monument of the unknown soldier. We're going to see also two guards in front of the presidential house. We call them evzuns. They wear costumes of the region of the Peloponnese, the 16th century, and they change every hour. On the left side you can see this Lycabettus hill. You see that's the highest hill of the city. A bit wide, small construction. There's a chapel dedicated to St. George. There's a bar restaurant, and there's also a funicular railway passing inside the rock. You can see a statue. You see this statue. We're going to turn to the right, but the statue that you see behind the traffic light was made by a Greek sculptor. He's called Varatus in 1888. He used 18 tones of glass and 6 tones of steel. Glass and steel. The statue represents an The temple was finished 9 years later, 438. We know very well that they were still decorating the temple till 432. It's a temple which is in Doric order, which was constructed by two architects. They were called Ictimus and Callicrates. They used some methods that we cannot imitate even nowadays. The base is curved. The columns are inclined to the center. The columns of this temple could also form a perfect pyramid. After 1,852 meters, they could form a perfect pyramid. It's about a mile. So we have the impression this is straight lines. It's exactly the opposite. We have an optic illusion, avoiding another one. The entrance is always at the eastern section, not more than 5–10%. It was more expensive and more difficult. We were putting wooden roofs, some tiles to decorate, and that's all. We don't have it. For the British Museum, or if you ever go there, you can see over there 80% of the decoration of the temple, of the continent. All these fragments were brought to London at the beginning of the 19th century, in 1812, when Greece was still occupied by the Turks. The English ambassador Elgin gave some money to the Turks. They broke all these fragments and they brought them to London. After putting the bases, the gases in which they were putting oil perfumes of the state. Since the temple was dedicated to the goddess Athena, of course they had put a statue inside, which was representing the goddess Athena. It was the first chrysolite statue, which was made by Phidias. The source is the gold, elephantine is the ivory. All these statues have their naked parts, the head, the arms, the legs, made of ivory.